What's up, guys? Welcome back. Well, I hope everybody went short here around 4,500, 4,510, because you got a nice 100, I don't know, 130 point drop out of it. Today was basically a straight downtrend. You don't see too many days of this, but at least to this degree, this is like a straight, I don't know, 45-degree angle here. Um, but yeah, demand zones didn't provide much support. As you can see, 1, 2, almost third down here. But let's get a little recap going. On the supply side, we had a 90-minute supply zone at 45.03 from a few weeks ago. Right above that, we have a pretty big key level at 45.12, which is a 4-hour zone. You can see that here. Rejected off that a couple weeks ago, a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of times. And now we're coming in to test this 90-minute zone right as we're opening up throughout the day. This should be the first test. Above that, there's a few more, but knew going into the day that those zones should be strong, so we'll just leave that there. On the demand side, we created a 3-hour zone at 44.77, about I don't know, 3 or 4 hours before the open bell, or I guess around around midnight. Excuse me. And below that, we have a 3-hour demand zone at 44.44, a little bit below that from a couple of days ago. And then way below that, we have a 3-hour zone at 43.97 that I did not think we would touch, but we did at the end of the day. And then, of course, this key level that we've been noticing this past, I don't know, month or so at this point, 44.44, was strong support. 1, 2, 3 touches before it broke down last week. And now it's been kind of using it as support and resistance a few times. If I broke it down on the smaller time frame, you'd be able to see some exact touches. See some wicks here down. Kind of use it as resistance yesterday, then broke through it. I'm sorry, that was 2 days ago. Use it as support yesterday, and fell through it today. But that's definitely a level where people like to step up. Depending on which side we're on, sellers will use it as resistance. If we're below it, buyers will use it as support if we're above it, just like yesterday. So that's the key levels. Got our demand zones, got our supply zones. Overnight high 44.97, 44.98, right before the open bell. Overnight lows 44.68, right below that demand zone there. Let me zoom out. Put on VWAP. All right, so off the get-go, I mean, we've had a strong last couple of days, right? And right off the bat, buying picked up, ripped it into a 45.03 supply zone, and about 5-6 minutes in, selling started increasing a little bit, but there really wasn't much right before that. They dropped it back down to overnight highs. Overnight's highs was used as support. And we came back up, tested this intraday high right here, broke it, but that's almost considered a double top or a high day break and fail, which is never a good sign. I know some people short off of that. I like to wait for more confirmation, but if they did short off of that, they had one heck of a move. So selling obviously present in this supply zone, right? You can see after this double top or high day break, buying just kind of disappeared. You have low 5-minute buying here, which is what we want to see. Now, if I wanted to short, which it was still a little too early for me, and we were so strong the past couple of days and breaking these key levels that I wasn't going to short in the first 30 minutes. I wanted to wait for a little bit more confirmation. But ideally, after we see this 5-minute, low 5-minute buying in a supply zone like this off of the rejection, we know selling is present, buying is disappearing. We want to wait for a little spike to get closer to the high day, to minimize our risk and maximize our reward, and then short that down to a level where usually a demand zone, or wherever we see buying present. But we didn't get that spike. And like I said, even if we did get that, I don't think I would have, because it was a little bit too early in the day, and we had just been so strong. Buyers have been strong the past couple of days. So we didn't get that spike. Selling increase, fell down, broke overnight highs. And from there, the selling pressure just kind of increased. Using overnight highs as support now. I'm sorry, resistance. Use it as support here a few times. Now using it as resistance, down, resistance. And we keep on falling down into this 3-hour demand zone. Now I have this little circle here. You can see right here. So this is a good lesson of why I don't, and people really shouldn't. They need to wait for more confirmation of why we don't just buy right into a demand zone. Even if you see buying present, I mean, you see buying present here on the 1-minute chart, right? You see buying coming in right after we touch. We consolidate a little bit before it, then we come back and touch it. Buying picks it up, and then it just kind of everybody who got long here bought just kind of got trapped, fell down. Probably got some more people trapped here, and then dumped, and just basically more fuel for the fire for shorts, and the selling pressure just increased. But you want to wait for the touch into the demand zone, obviously. Wait for it to come up a little bit. Wait for selling to disappear on not only the 1-minute chart but also the 5-minute chart, and then catch a higher low in the 5-minute chart, either in the demand zone or right above. But whenever you see selling not present and buying on the 5-minute chart, catch that higher low there. That's when your chances of succeeding are a lot higher than just playing off the 1-minute chart. So I would imagine a lot of people got stuck here, but play off the 5-minute chart, and your life will be a lot easier, a lot less stressful. So like I said, probably trapped some people here, and then dumped it. Buying disappearing again, and through this demand zone. So we have this demand zone here gone. Also through overnight lows. Now at this point, sellers are in control, right? So I'm waiting for an intraday supply zone to get created, and that's really about it. On the long side, I wasn't even thinking about it. I would need to see some clear new demand zones being created on at least a 15-minute time frame, and I can buy the retest on that, saying new buyers are coming into the market, and it's not just going to be a selling fest all day. But we didn't get that. So at this point, waiting for intraday supply to get created and see if we can get a retest of it. We didn't get that either, so I didn't have any plays today. But I'm going to show you one here in a bit that you could have taken this trade, a little riskier, but it would have worked out. All right, anyway, so we break down below this overnight lows here. Come down, and I mean, it's just, the selling just continues. Now we're getting near our 44.44 key level, right? Using it as support. Buyers are coming in here. Another area where it kind of like treating it like a demand zone, right? You want to see a higher low on the 5-minute chart and low 5-minute selling, but we didn't get that. 1 minute looks all right. Again, same exact thing. Buying just coming in on this 1-minute chart, and people getting stuck. You have low 5-minute buying here in this consolidation area right before it pulls the rug. So not only do we have this key level, we also had this 3-hour demand zone at 44.43 that just couldn't get any traction. Same thing as this demand zone up here. Couldn't make a higher high, couldn't make a higher low on at least the 5-minute chart. Buying obviously not present, selling too strong, and we just kind of fell right through it. So another zone gone. But this is an area where at this point, once we break a key level and once you see we're in a clear downtrend, any big balance area, you kind of treat it like a supply zone, right? You've probably heard me say it a couple times where if you're treating it like a supply zone, okay, we want to wait for a lower high on at least a 5-minute chart, and buying not present. Just like we kind of were looking for up here, that's what we're looking for down here now. We see a consolidation area. There's no demand zone below. So what you could have done is, here's a high, we touch this, we use this key level as resistance, and low 5-minute buying disappearing here too. So this is the lower high that you're treating as a supply zone, right? You could have got a short off of. Take this, ride it to as far as you want, but you got a pretty quick 20-point move here. I would probably take all my profits there if I would have made that trade, but I did not. All right, pause there. I want to draw out some supply zones that were created earlier. At about 11 o'clock, we did create this supply zone on the 90-minute chart. And also created a 15-minute right above that key level. Nope. So it really just gives us more of a probability to succeed on the short side if we took this trade. Not only were we treating this as a supply zone, right? Just because there was so much heavy selling pressure and we broke below this key level, there also was a 15-minute supply zone here that was already created. We technically might have touched it right here, so you could have just taken this trade just based off of that. Right? No buying. Fell right away. Probably take your profits there. At that point, there's just so many people trapped from these mini little consolidations above the demand zone. The selling pressure just continues all the way down until we get to this another 3-hour demand zone. This one's at 43.97, and balances here for about the last 45 minutes to an hour. Couldn't get much out of it. Couldn't break any major higher highs or previous highs. I'm sorry, previous lower highs. This one right here couldn't break it. The other one here couldn't break it. And at the end of the day, we just kind of balanced in this area and stayed there. So not a good day, obviously, for bulls. We're getting back down into the range. I think the previous key low we had recently was about 43.55. So we'll see if we can stay above that overnight and tomorrow. But definitely not a good day. No trades on my end. These downward, or even if it was upward, but these downward straight days are kind of tricky to play. Especially if we don't create any big intraday supply zones. We had this one right here that we could have made a trade off of, but it would have been nice if we could have got a retest of this 90-minute zone here, right? But unless we do get a solid test of those supply zones, it can be tricky to trade off of. But did overall create some, somewhat zones. You got this one up here, and then we'll see if these demand zones hold overnight, and then we'll go from there. All right, see you guys later.